Can you think of anything scarier than being forced to climb a mountain for hours and hours with all of your coworkers and then camping on top of that mountain after you've reached the summit? Because that is the situation that starts Monkey Peak. We follow roughly 40 characters as they climb to the very, very tip top of a mountain where it's not all that easy to get to the top. It's a pretty treacherous mountain. But when they get to the top, they face something even scarier than the act of climbing it itself. Monkey Peak is a seinen horror manga series and it is a slasher. So if you're uncomfortable with body horror, I would recommend staying away from this one. If you're a fellow Japanese language learner like me, I will say there is no furigana, so you have to be able to read the kanji, and it does contain some difficult vocabulary. So I would recommend it to people level N2 and above, or carry a dictionary as you read it. You'll be fine. Monkey Peak itself has 12 volumes, and it was written by Shinasaka Koji and Kumeta Akihiro. This is the first in a trilogy. So Monkey Peak has 12 volumes. That's the first. There is also Monkey Peak The Rock, which has 9 volumes, and Monkey Circle, which has 2 volumes. I've only read volume 1 of Monkey Peak, so I don't know anything about anything else, but there is a lot. So if you think this sounds like an interesting story, there is so much content to follow. Now let's get into talking about a generalization of what happens in Volume 1. Volume 1 does have 10 chapters and it's a pretty thick book, so we get a lot of content in this volume. So, we follow roughly 40 characters as they are climbing to the top of a rather treacherous mountain. We find out that all 40 of them are coworkers, they're working together, meaning they're not really friends. So, while some people are better at climbing mountains than others, generally, if they were friends, they would be kind to the slower people and match their pace. Instead, the faster people are being rather mean to the slow people, telling them, hurry up, come on. So tensions are already pretty high regardless. As they're climbing, the boss, who I'm assuming is the one who scheduled the entire trip, starts talking about how you should never ever underestimate mountains. Starts talking about the toll of people who have passed away on mountains. Tells them number one is not Everest, but it's actually a mountain in Japan. Number two is the mountain that they're currently climbing. And he also says that the mountain they're climbing is nicknamed Evil Monkey Mountain. It sounds a little bit better in Japanese, I guess. It's Kisaru Dake, but still not a mountain you want to be climbing. Why would it be nicknamed that? I wonder. So eventually, after a lot of climbing, and it's not just walking up a mountain path. There's ladders. It's a lot of work. It shouldn't be somebody's first mountain climb, I'll say. But eventually they get to the top of the mountain. Everybody's relieved. We get to see a little bit more of all of the characters. Some people are definitely more suited for the mountains than others, but that's okay. They set up camp, they go to bed for the night. And we find our main character, Saotome, who is a little bit rough looking. He has a scar on his eyebrow, but he's always smiling. But his smile is really creepy. So, like, but we follow him as he wakes up in the middle of the night to a funny noise. And he sees a shadow coming from outside of his tent, and it's a massive shadow. So he unzips his tent, thinking, like, what the heck is going on? And he sees a giant, monstrous monkey holding a machete, just walking outside of his tent. It's terrifying. And then he hears screams. It's a whole mess. He gets out of his tent to find several of his coworkers had been attacked by the machete holding monkey. The monkey's nowhere to be seen, and it's giant, like it's taller than a person, it's massive. The monkey's nowhere to be seen. The bodies are there. Everybody's freaking out. At first, nobody believed that it was a giant monkey who did it, but there were several witnesses, not to the act itself, but to the monkey walking around. So people eventually agree, okay, a giant monkey did this. What do we do? And because it took them hours to get to the top of the mountain and the terrain is not very friendly and it's the middle of the night, they agree kind of unhappily, that they really shouldn't be descending the mountain in the middle of the night while it's pitch black. They don't really have a choice but to wait for the sun to rise. But they don't want to be separated in their tents again, just waiting for the monkey to come back. So they all come together and sit under this like hut-like structure, just waiting for the sun to come up. Nobody can sleep. And while they're waiting for the sun to come up, that same boss who was talking about how the mountain is nicknamed Evil Monkey Mountain starts talking about the legend of Monkey Throwing Mountain, which is also a nickname. All the nicknames about this mountain are about monkeys being evil. Why would you climb it? But apparently, according to legend, a very, very long time ago, there was an evil monkey on the mountain wreaking absolute havoc. One day, kind of tired of it all, a samurai decided to climb to the very top of the mountain and threw the evil monkey off, making it no longer living. Ever since that happened, apparently, evil monkeys have been appearing here and there on the mountain. And not just that mountain. A little bit later on in this volume, we learned that potentially evil monkeys could be popping up in mountains not in Japan. So, like, top of various mountains around the world. Allegedly, we don't know. The only fact that we do know is there is indeed an evil monkey on the mountain that they're currently on. So, the sun comes up after this kind of scary talk. Sun comes up, everybody says, "Okay, good. Like, we have our map. Let's begin descending the mountains so that we can call the police." There's no radio signal, there's no Wi-Fi, there's nothing on the top of the mountain. And so they have their map, and they do seem to have a digital map that is just like a screenshot. So they do look at their phone, but I don't think they can update it. They can't really do anything with it. And they're descending, and they see a sign that correlates to where they should be, and they turn and they begin descending a rope bridge. As they're doing this, though, at the very back of the line, we have Saotome, who instantly he sees the sign and recognizes, for such an old mountain, that sign looks way too new. Also, this should not be the turning point. Like, we're not that far down the mountain. Like, this seems suspicious. It feels like a trap. So he runs past everybody to get to the front. But so many people have already begun climbing the rope bridge, and they don't really like Saotome. They don't really listen to him when he says, like, turn back, like, you should not be coming down here. They ignore him. And so everybody's going down the rope bridge, and at the top, the evil monkey appears, and he starts attacking, and he breaks the rope bridge, and everybody falls down, and it's pretty far down. Quite a few people break bones, they lose their consciousness. It's a really, really big fall. And Saotome explains that this was definitely a trap. I don't know if it was the monkey itself, but somebody put that decoy sign there so that we would come down here. We should not be here. This is a dead end. We cannot get out from here. And people, again, they're not nice to Saotome. They refer to him as a murderer when, again, we don't know if he's actually a murderer. He is rough looking. Maybe that's just a rumor. We don't know. But so they're down there, and they're all still thinking, like, we need to get out of here. Like, we need to find help. Now, so some people have been left behind at the camp after being attacked by the monkey. Now, at the bottom of the bridge, there's several of them have lost consciousness, broken bones, can't move at all. There's about 20-ish people who are still okay to move. So the 20-ish people decide collectively that they will go into the mountains that really aren't meant to be climbed. They're not the path. It has a sign that says, like, extra dangerous. Like, if you're not able-bodied, you probably will not survive this trip. There's a big sign before you enter those woods, or before you enter that part of the mountain trail. And so 20 people don't really have much of a choice but to begin their climb into the extra dangerous part of the mountain to try and find a it's called like a mountain hut, where it's like lodgings for people traveling in the mountains. It should have a radio that you can use no matter where you are so that they can call the police for help. So they begin making their way up, and it's really, really difficult to climb because it's not really meant to be climbed. And they're about, like 15-ish minutes, I would say, into climbing. So they're pretty up there when Saotome turns back to look at the bottom of that bridge that was destroyed by the monkey, where all of his coworkers who are unconscious or injured are just lying there, and he sees the monkey came back and was just going like brutally attacking everybody who was there. Saotome, not thinking, just runs back, runs down the mountain, and one of the other people who were on the mountain with him also follows. Everybody else stays there, and Saotome can't really do anything. It's a massive monkey with a machete. Like, he can't do anything. And by the time he gets there, the monkey just disappears. And he sees, like, wow, like, this is bad. Like, what a like, the monkey attacked people from the back as they were trying to escape. Like, it seemed kind of cowardice. And we see that thankfully not everybody that was at the bottom of the bridge was attacked. So there were some people who were able to hide in the bushes. The monkey does come back, though, trying to attack them again, and it almost leads them off of a cliff. So, like, it runs full speed through the woods as Saotome is following him, and because you can't see because you're through the woods, all of a sudden it leads to a cliff drop. And where did the monkey go? If it was running full speed at the cliff and it just disappeared, where did it go? Saotome almost falls off the cliff, but he doesn't, thankfully. And he explains, like, yeah, like, I was chasing the monkey. Where did it go? Like, it can't just disappear, can it? Like, obviously it should be somewhere, but I don't see it anywhere. So, kind of distraught, they have to give up the search for the monkey for now, and they return to everybody else who was climbing the mountain when they ran back. So they returned, they explained, like, yeah, the monkey attacked everybody, like you saw from here. It disappeared, like, we couldn't do anything. So they start climbing a little bit more, where they reach an awning and they decide to set up camp for the night there because it's extra dangerous to travel through the night. And they're all like, well, like, we're gonna get attacked here. The monkey's gonna come back. And the monkey does come back. And so as they're waiting down, they're waiting at the awning. The monkey appears from a little bit below and starts throwing rocks and things at them. It's attacking them from a distance. They throw things back at the monkey, but it doesn't really work. And the monkey pulls out a bow and arrow and starts shooting at them. Eventually, they are able to get the monkey to go away, but as all of this is going on, one of the 20-ish people who were on the awning was attacked and did not make it through. And people are speculating that it wasn't the monkey who did it. It was one of the 20 people on the awning who did it. So who would have done it? And then the volume ends. And it's volume 1 of Monkey Peak. Personally, I really liked this volume. I do really like a fun slasher. This was that for me. I do like that we follow a huge group of characters. While we do have our main character, Saotome, he's not the only character we learn about. We get to see quite a bit of all of the characters. And I really liked that it kind of felt like Battle Royale in that there were so many people and the story focused more on some than others, but still everybody did feel at least a little bit important. And it's just fun. Like, I do like the supernatural aspect of it in that, like, it's definitely a supernatural monkey. And in the description, at least, it's described as monkeys, not just one monkey. So I'm wondering if in the coming volumes more and more evil monkeys will appear. I'm not quite sure, but I am excited to find out because I do find it fun. I I will say I do wish there was a way that they could fight back against the monkey because it seems to be kind of impervious to all attacks. And I am not the biggest fan of, like, OP characters just in general. I do find that to be a little bit unrealistic. I say as I'm talking about a supernatural monkey series. But I do hope we get to learn more about it. I did like the history of the samurai climbing to the top and throwing the monkey off, and that causing the monkey to become a malvoyant spirit and attacking people. I did like that. I like a little bit of lore behind my supernatural stories. So I think this did do a good job of combining supernatural with the slasher. I think it's fun. You do kind of need to be able to turn your brain off a little bit, and you can't really become too attached to any of the characters because it's pretty clear that, like, most of them won't survive. in the end. I'm pretty sure I know who's gonna survive. I have my opinions, but I don't want to say anything because I'm only one volume in. And yeah, that was Monkey Peak. I only have volume one. It's been out forever. I haven't been able to find the rest of the series, and I may continue this one digitally because I would like to know what happened. I did like that they introduced the notion of there being a traitor amongst themselves because they think that the person who was attacked at the very end of the volume wasn't attacked by the monkey, but one of the people on the awning. I thought that was interesting. And to add to that, they keep referring to Sao Tome as a murderer. They all think he attacked and like killed one person. And he never denies it. He gets a little bit awkward when it's brought up, but he never outright denies it. And we also know his father um, died in a boulder. I don't know if it was like an avalanche or what, but his head was hit by a boulder and he died protecting Sao Tome. So I'm wondering if people heard just generally about that and think that Sao Tome is the one who did it. I don't know, but I'm interested to find out more, and I do want to learn more about Sao Tome's history because I think he's interesting. I do think he's going to survive the whole time because he seems to be the main character. I don't know, because if he isn't the main character, I don't know why he was given so much page time on this volume.